Hey, Flo here. About to get started. I have very little time today, so I don't know if I will get very far, but I'll at least get a little start here. So I'm not going to talk too much about what I'm doing, I'll just do it. I'm building a rolling platform for a metal shelf. I have two metal shelves in my shop that are very heavy. So build shelves for them. I drew this. It's basic framing, two long 2x4s with 3 cross connectors, and then it'll put some OSB on top of that. And I have 2 of them. I have all the dimensions here. The reason I have all these drawings and dimensions is I wanted to make sure to get the right amount of wood, so I did some calculations on how many studs or boards I would need when I went to the store a while ago. So what that's all about, but it's also handy because I don't have to go out and measure everything again. So let me go grab several boards to work with, and I'll get started and hopefully get something done. But because I got started so late this time, even later than usual, it's not super likely I'll finish this project, but do what I can. What else do I need? I need some gloves. I need my opinion, at least that I'm gonna use it anymore, is if I need to measure something quite large. There's a deer over there. I saw 3 deer, had to go to town, pick up something, and saw 3 deer on the road. I see one over there right now. Grab my battery, which I actually remembered to charge last night, thankfully. Not sure about the best angle here. Okay, probably about right there. Okay, let's look at my drawings now. I don't know which one I'm doing first. I think this one. So I need to cut 2 boards to 47 1/4. I think that means I can get 2 cuts out of 1 board, which is awesome. It's not going to be any real waste. Don't know where I left my eye protection. Oh, good, in here. I thought so, but sure. It's almost looking like it could rain. I didn't check the forecast. I hope it doesn't. Is that for real? Let me go check this against the shelf. It looks really short to me, but I missed measure. I just want to double check before I commit to this. I was thinking it was wider than that, but no, that's correct. Okay, we're good. If I recall the night that I did all these measurements and drawings in order to go to town and figure out how many boards I needed to buy, I was really tired, so I could have made some silly mistakes. I think I noticed one mistake possibly on my drawing page already a few days ago. 47 1/4, so we're barely wasting anything. Just like 1.5 at the end. Love it when that happens. Okay, got those 2. Then I need 3 cross members, which are 17 5/16. I'm gonna go double check that just to make sure. That's I think the outer dimension. So it'll be 14 5/16, I believe. Just make sure though. Yeah, I think so. I might actually finish this. Well, I don't know. The thing that'll take a little bit longer is cutting the OSB plywood to put on top. Building the frame should be pretty quick. Okay, so need 3 pieces at 14 5/16. The problem with this ruler is it doesn't have 16ths, it just has 8ths, which I have to think about it for a second here.
Gareth001. Hello mate, you stream pretty cool, that's why I followed you. I will like to make you a friend and be a fan. If you don't mind, kindly chat me on Discord. My Discord username is Laycon20.
Okay, 14 Let's see, 5/16 is 4/16 plus 1, so like 1/4 and 1/2. Right there. Whoops. See, I need something to brace that over here. I never thought of that. I wonder if they made that dirt height be like 3 inches or something. Let me check. Looks like it's exactly 3 inches. They would have been wiser to make it 3.5 because 3 inches is not anything standard. Let me make something that's 3 inches maybe if I can. Real quick. Let's see. 3 inches would be two 2x4s actually. I guess that's okay. Yeah, that'll work. So instead of 1 on its end, we can put 2 on their sides. Oops. It's pretty flat. It's nice to finally have a table that's big enough that I can actually use the top of it as a place to have boards going across. So I probably don't really need sawhorse anymore, which is really a huge improvement. Another one of those. So what almost looks like as a split, I think it's just some kind of grain line. It just looks kind of like a split. I think it actually is though. Definitely feeling cold right now, so I think those clouds blowing in are what's doing that, and there could be some rain in them, but maybe not necessarily right here, but somewhere close by. Here, potentially. Okay, so there's those 3. It's a very simple construction on this thing. I think that's all I have to cut. So, just start assembling it already. One cool thing too is I can probably, I mean, I didn't really totally plan this out as using this table as a workbench, but it's totally suitable. Like, I think I can, I mean, that was one of the secondary purposes I had in mind, but I didn't actually think like, oh, let's plan it out. How exactly will this work? But I think I can essentially just clamp stuff to the side of this, which is very nice. So for example, let's get a center point on this thing. It was 47 and quarter, was it? Looks like I didn't cut that. Oh yeah, it's good. So half of 47 is 23 and a half. 23 5/8. Just like to double check my head math because it's not always right, but that is correct. Okay, so let me get my quick square, speed square, whatever you call it. Okay, so then we put this board in the center like so, put it up next to the edge, and should be able to clamp it down that way. So I'll mark the center point on this one too. 3 5/8. This is all we're making right there. Just a strong platform for a heavy shelf. Just gotta screw this all together. And those are 14 inches. I might actually be able to clamp all the way across that. I know I can with my longest clamp, this one, but it's not that far, and I probably use... Oh wow, you see that deer out there? That's cool. It's funny. I didn't even notice it because I was so focused on what I was doing. Okay, yeah, so I can probably clamp all the way across this. Shoot, not quite. It's like a 1/4 inch short with these kind of long ones, but my longest one I can go all the way across, I think. I'd like to get one more long one like this, or even a couple really long ones. This one's kind of crappy. Why is it? Oh, I'm on top of those, forgot about that. I'm on top of those hinges, so it's kind of rocking back and forth, so let's just put it over here. I think I'll start at this far end, actually. Okay. Sure, this is nice and lined up. Guess I could go with the 3 drill operation again, save a little time, and actually like how that corded one works with the see. Just go with that again. Probably buy a couple more countersinks just eventually. Right now I'm fine, but I don't know. I guess I'm not going to be doing these projects forever. If I was like constantly working on woodworking stuff, then I would want to have some backups, but once I'm done, I'm not going to be doing this a good ton. Good. Some kind of stupid fly. What's that? I don't think it's a mosquito, is it? That would take some serious reaction time. The fact that this is so lightweight, it just goes boink. Should be able to do it though. You just gotta grip it really. Whatever. Okay, gotta get 7 in a row. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Just to have that corded drill, and I think it just makes it really fast. Okay, one more on this side, then I can flip it around, do the other side. Spit on everything. Disadvantage is I don't have a big enough overhang to do a solid grip, but maybe I can go all the way down there. Yep. It's much better. In this case, I might actually, you can't quite do that, can you? Very close, but not quite. Okay, well, let's see. Friction might be enough to keep this in place, otherwise I kind of want to pull that over so it doesn't do something weird. This is kind of a, I don't know if it's faulty, but it's crappy clamp. It doesn't want to spring back sometimes, so I can't get it as tight as I want. Okay, if I could get it one a little bit tighter, I should probably be enough to hold this in place with friction. Might be enough to just put one of these on here. Okay, that's good. one screw in just to keep it from flipping out. Grab the countersink. So the fact that this board was out like full inch more, that's what I was talking about in previous streams where these boards are warped like just straight out of the store. You can't, they're not reliably straight. They kind of have to force them into submission by just kind of bending them. But when you do that, like I'm bending this in, which it wants to go back out, so it's potentially going to pull the whole thing and skew it that way. But when I put the OSB board on it, that should nail it down straight. Same with this board over here. You can see that it's over that way, so I have to force it back this way. Let's see, where's the center point? The other side. I could actually build the frame for the second one, because if I got them both done today, it'd be amazing. I could actually go in the shop and install them. I was generally just thinking I would get one done, but the way this is going pretty fast, it's feasible that I could actually finish both of them. Okay, so the only other thing that I didn't actually have in my plans, but I need to do, is put a little 2x4 here so that there's a big enough base for the casters to sit on. So let me cut those real quick. I would say like 6 inches is probably enough. Definitely 20. Oh, what? Wow, what happened there? Has it been like that for a while? I hope not. That is completely not straight, not even close to straight. That's insane. Okay, I can still use that piece, but whoa. That's terrible. This thing got somehow completely loosened. I have no idea if these cuts that I made earlier are straight. Yikes. Seems like I would have noticed it being like crazy crooked, but... Okay, so it must have moved after I made these cuts. Wow. It's very fortunate. Do an experiment here. I'm just gonna assume that that blade width is about an 1/8 inch. It might be a little bit less, but let's just try this. I want to see what happens. It'd be nice if it was exactly an 1/8 inch. Measuring. Close. Might not be exactly an 1/8 inch, but it's, I think it's very close. For something like this, it doesn't matter, but for more precise piece, it might matter. Why that's moving so easily. Weird. Clamp isn't really doing anything. Because of this little extra step that I kind of forgot about, adding these 6-inch brace things or whatever. Places for the casters to attach to. It's taking a little bit longer. Thought I was kind of done, but just having to do this extra little step might make it so I can't start on the other one today. bad toss. Gave myself a little hope of catching it when you toss it the wrong angle. I could put 2 clamps on this. It seems totally excessive, but maybe that's the only way I can get this to stay. Another thing I didn't think of is I don't think I have lag bolts for this. I'll either have to decide to use regular screws, which isn't really the greatest, but might be okay. Oh, what am I doing? I haven't put the screws in yet. Distracted. Lag bolts are better for putting the casters in because they're under a lot of pressure and I want it to break. But I guess if the screws did break, then I could always just replace them with lag bolts at a later time. Forgetting stuff. It's not super crucial that I countersink these, but it'll be less likely to split the ends of the board, so I may as well. Run out of screws. I believe I know I bought another box of them, but I don't know. I hope I didn't leave it at the store. Should be in that same bucket where I had found the other box. I just don't recall seeing it. I wasn't really paying attention. I'm guessing it's there, but sometimes I just doubt myself. My memory is so crappy these days. I built these with 1.5 inches on every side, I think. So the shelf is actually inside this hole. And that's by design so that in the future, I'm not going to do it now, but in the future I could build a shelf on top of the shelf. It's hard to explain now, but you'll see it later. So did actually think ahead in that sense. Because the shelf is about this tall, but there's like, you know, another 4 feet above there that could be used for something. So I just made it so I could add a shelf on top of the shelf. But I didn't buy enough wood to do that. I just kind of designed it so it could be added to later. I have made lower profile rolling carts before, and I could have gone that way, which would have meant instead of having these 2x4s vertical, I could have turned them 90 degrees, and then it would be only 1.5 inches tall for this platform. But I decided to go stronger. It's not really any reason not to, unless the only reason you would want a lower profile is if you're trying to get something at a particular height, and that's the only way to do it. Or yeah, basically that's the reason. Otherwise, this is a better way because it's so much stronger having the 2x4s be vertical. Probably 5 times as strong. I don't know the exact numbers, but it's a lot stronger. Yeah, so I might wait to finish these until I get lag bolts. The other problem with not using lag bolts is the heads of these screws are usually too small and they go straight through the caster. So I'd either have to get washers or lag bolts. The wise thing would be to get lag bolts. The problem is I have to get so many. I have to get 16 per platform, because 4 per wheel. That means 32 in all, and they're kind of expensive, so I might actually order those online or something, because when you go to a hardware store, you buy them one at a time, and sometimes they're like almost $1 each. The deer must have walked by again. I don't know if you saw it, but I just saw it go over there. I wasn't really watching. It's pretty good camouflage, really, if you're not watching for it. It has pretty much the same color as the dirt. All right, so that is basically done. I just have to put the OSB on there, which I'll do now. I'm gonna go try to find a piece that's big enough, which I think I have plenty. So it's, I already have the measurements written down. Be right back, see if I can find a piece. 47 1/4 by 17. 5, 6. Hey, Alberto. Been a while. Hope you're doing good.
How have you been?
I am doing okay. I don't know. Cart overview. Okay, here's some pieces. Of course, they're under 1,000,000 things. So construct the pile here. Okay, there's a piece that's big enough. I'd actually use some of these older pieces because I feel like this particular shelf is slightly less important than some of the others. Okay, that one right there was meant to be used. This project, I think it's like exactly the right length. Very close. We'll use that one. Kind of crappy and old, but it'll do the trick, I think. Those are not thickest, strongest material, but it'll work. I think it'll be sufficient. Next project after these two, actually making 2 of these things. Next one after I finish these 2 is probably finish the stairs in the loft. The stairs themselves are basically finished, but they also need to have wheels put on them and then attached to the top so they can slide back and forth. And I have a couple other projects I'm going to be doing off stream probably.
Worked out. Nice.
Right. Yeah, it's Spawn. Did you know that, well, actually, do you know Kamehame Dukin, the friend from D-Life? He also streams on all the platforms, but he actually just played Spawn not that long ago, like a week or 2 ago. Recovering from surgery, what? What's that all about? Didn't hear about that. At least I don't think I heard about that.
Super NES.
Yeah, the Super NES, same as that Sprite that I have. Okay, so I need to get my table saw out. Make some space for it.
I got a hernia that needed to be fixed.
Oh, okay. How long is the recovery on that? I don't really know a ton about hernias, even though Weird Al has a song all about it. I guess I should just listen to that song. I know kind of what it is, but I've never known anybody with one, so I'm not super good. I know they're pretty common. 2 weeks? Okay, it's not terrible. Are you in a lot of pain? I'm assuming they gave you some medications. Not pleasant, yeah.
Tell me where go. I am in a little bit of pain now.
Maybe it's too soon, but if you're not familiar, you should go listen to Weird Al's Living with a Hernia. Living with a hernia. He like lists all the different types of hernia. But maybe it's not funny for someone who's actually dealing with the pain, but sometimes it helps to laugh at your situation. As long as you don't laugh too hard, that could cause more pain.
Medicated all tis time lol. Tell me where go. I think IPVE seen it.
Yeah, it's kind of annoying. We're getting old. Like pretty soon, like another 10 years, all we'll be talking about is all our right. So
Tell me where go. Oh yes, we old now.
yeah, we getting old. I don't like to think of myself as old, but it just happens to everybody. It's nothing new, you know. We all get old. Even those people that think they're invincible, like the Zoomers now, that just don't think they'll ever get old and they call everybody else old, they also are going to get old. Believe it or not. Just the way things work. Okay. I'm gonna measure this, even though I already have the measurements written down. I just want to make sure that I actually got everything correctly. Like 47 1/4 by 17 1/4. Is that what I have written down? And 5/16. That's probably what it is.
They are getting old and dumber every day. El Muerto, sadly.
Yeah, I don't know. Honestly, it's not necessarily their fault. The culture and the whole system of powers is against us, you know, with all the big tech, all the big tech, big pharma, big food companies. They're all like against us. They may not like specifically be trying to hurt us, but like everything they do is against us. All the unhealthy foods that are made, all the waste of time stuff that rots our brains. It's just people have to resist at some point. Oh, I know. I feel really bad for the young people these days, because I've already, in my opinion, I've endured more than I can handle. So it could have one of two effects, though. It could actually make those young people really strong, because they'll have to endure really hard times.
When a pipe breaks at their home, they will have no idea how to fix it.
Yeah, of course, there's always going to be people that you can pay to get things fixed, but yeah. It depends on where you grow up. If you grow up in the country, like, you learn those skills, but if you grow up in a city, you have no idea, typically, unless you're really interested in those things and take it upon yourself to learn stuff. But the other thing I've been realizing lately is previous generations didn't have YouTube. Like, guess how I learned all this stuff? I've just watched YouTube, and I've just been playing around, trying stuff. So unless the internet goes away, which it could if there's some, you know, apocalyptic event, people have access to more information now than they used to. So that's one benefit they have. Okay, so this doesn't even look straight, so I might have to get my square out and true this up and hope that it's still big enough where I've cut the ends off. Be right back. So I can find my big square. Yep. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know how to do. Like if the food source wasn't plentiful, I don't know how to grow food. I'm not a farmer. Yeah, I have some skills, but you know, there's a lot of things I don't know too.
El Muerto, I have survival skills.
Nice. I don't really. I have interest in that stuff, but I've never like practiced the skills particularly as far as like, you know, building a fire and hunting and fishing and all that stuff. I've just never really been into that. I don't like killing animals, so unless I had to, I wouldn't really do it, so. Good. I don't want to cut off too much. Oops. Okay, we got plenty to work with. This is going to be challenging though, just cutting off a tiny bit. Over here is in the way.
Recently invested on a resin 3D printer with my brother, and I've been relearning some Blender to make 3D models and print them.
Oh, very cool, man. That's fun. I've been very tempted to get into that hobby, but I have enough hobbies as it is. But there's often something I want to make, and I'm like, oh, if only I had a 3D printer or a plasma cutter or this or that. Very fun. Glad that you guys are able to do that. Definitely cut this side too. Terrible. Very tricky. Now that I have one straight edge, I will square off. I have to cut all 4 edges. This board is really bad. Just cut off a bit here. Make sure that we have a square edge. You have anything in mind specifically that you want to make? Oh, you already said. printed an alien xenomorph statue, and it was so nice to paint detail.
El Muerto. Yep.
Yeah, I'm not so interested in like miniatures and artsy stuff. If I got a 3D printer, it'd be to like make practical pieces of machines or something, I think. I'm sure I'd print a few like, you know, just figurines and stuff just for trying it out, but I've always wanted to get one so I can make like gears and parts for cool machines or electronics, like cases for things and stuff like that.
Muerto. You might have some ideas that I want to make.
Cool. Okay, so let's cut this side. Right now, let's see, it's also nice Robotech statues, and I'm gonna print some of those. I used to love that in these. And functional objects or molds. Oh yeah, molds would be awesome. I actually was just watching I've watched a ton of videos about forging, but I just watched one recently, Cody's Lab. It's a very cool guy, he's a chemist kind of dude. He's been forging iron out of thermite and iron oxide, which I have a bunch of iron oxide or magnetite, and I was realizing, wow, I could do that. I might actually try that someday. Looks very cool. And you could actually fill forms with it. To wait to set up the printer and all the things. Yeah.
That sounds cool.
Yeah. I'll just show you, just for fun. It's not really that interesting to most people, but I think it's interesting. I've been refining the sand that I collected myself using the magnet because it's very magnetic, and you may have seen this on stream before, but I've looked at it under a microscope, and like in the evenings I've just been refining the sand. I have this magnet, it's pretty basic. I'd like to get a more powerful magnet, but got all this sand. This is almost pure magnetite. Oh, my camera's probably been facing the wrong way this whole time. You can see how it's black. Very magnetic. It's pretty cool stuff. But this is actually very pure, and I could probably get a pretty good mold out of if I did the thermite magnetite forging. So I may try that someday. Anyway, it's a little bit involved. If you're interested, check out Cody's Lab, CODY' lab. He's on YouTube. But I might try doing what he did someday. Yeah, it'd be super fun to stream it. The only thing I'm worried about is it could be a little bit dangerous. Like when I watched him doing it on his video, it looked super dangerous. He was just like kind of fumbling around. he basically made this volcano. Literally, it's literally a volcano with lava in it, and the lava was like all like jumping around all over, practically getting on his shoes and pants. It was a little bit hectic.
El Muerto. Crazy.
Quarter.
El Muerto. Lol.
Yeah, I love his channel and others like it though, because it just shows that you can, if you put your mind to it, you can achieve that kind of stuff. And it's fun to watch people that they're not polished, you know, they're not like pretending like it's easy, because a lot of YouTubers will be like, do a million cuts on their video until they get it just right and then publish that. But Cody's Lab and some others like him show their entire process. There's this other guy that's very similar. I can't remember his name. He does a lot of chemistry experiments as well on his channel, and I really like it. Of course, then there's guys like the Backyard Scientist and some others like that.
El Muerto. And pain pills.
Okay, no worries. Thanks for dropping by. If I don't see you again, it's good to see you. Hope that you heal soon and get to play around with your 3D printer and all that. Oh, and for anybody, if you're still here at Muerto or if anybody else, go check out, go watch Weird Al's UHF movie. They have a table saw scene in there. Just call me Mr. Butterfingers. Is my face red? Yeah, anyway, we're gonna try not to have any of those accidents, but it's actually kind of funny. Dark humor. Okay, so, let's, the spinal dimension. 47 1/4. Wait, this side actually looks pretty good, but I'm gonna cut it. I wish I would have noticed how good that looks. That was the best side to base my square off of. Didn't notice it at the time. That's the factory cut with the green paint still on it. I didn't check this. Is this, you doing okay? Okay, that's better. All right, almost done here. fine. I think it's fine. Okay, so all I have to do is screw this down. And then at some point I'll put casters on it. But like I said, if I don't have the appropriate lag bolts, I'll probably wait to get those, which means I have to go buy some lag bolts. Or I might order them online, like I said, because it's probably cheaper that way. Which is unfortunate, because that means waiting for those, but that's alright. I mean, it's okay not to finish the project entirely in one setting. I basically finished it though. All I have to do is put the lag bolts on. I mean the casters. Make sure this is nicely centered. I was sort of hoping to be able to show the process of putting it on the shelf today, but if I don't have the lag bolts, I won't be able to do that. Thankfully, this whole thing doesn't seem skewed that much. I mean, I think it is a tiny bit, but not so much that I feel the need to like push it into submission. I think it's close enough as is, so it's actually kind of rare. Usually because of these 2x4s warping and stuff, it's kind of out of square. This is like probably less than an 1/8 inch out of square, so I'm just gonna let it sit that way. Close enough. I'll at least show the shelf that I'm gonna put this on. And I'm not going to try to do the second shelf. I think it's kind of fun to have this single project that I finished in a stream. If it was a little bit earlier in the day, I would definitely try to get both of them done, but I think that would be pushing it at this point. This is exactly the kind of thing I'd like to make for my soccer ball juggling, except a lot bigger, about the size of that previous, or this table underneath. Maybe even a little bit wider this direction. Just like basically a wall you kick the ball against. And it would be exactly like this thing. As far as how it's constructed, it would just be a lot bigger. It's like a defective screw. The recessed area for the screwdriver is not very wide. I mean, deep. Let's try it anyway. Okay, we're all done. Except for the wheels, casters on the bottom, that's it. I'm gonna go check real quick. I have one place that I am aware of that might have lag bolts. If not, then I'll have to put off putting the wheels on there to another time. And I might not stream that because that would be kind of not that interesting. It'd be a short little task. But it'd be great if I had them. I seriously doubt it, and I don't think I have 32 of them, that's for sure, because that's how many I need. 16 for this one, and then same for the second one. Almost certain I didn't have that. Okay, here's the screws I was talking about, so I know where those are. I'll order those online, which means it'll take about 10 days or so to get here. I'll compare prices. If the local store has a decent price, I'll just buy them there. But typically, like when you go to a hardware store, you have to buy bolts one at a time. It's very expensive. If they had like bulk boxes or something, which some hardware stores do, but most don't, fortunately. So it gets very expensive if you buy like a bunch of bolts. So probably not be able to get those today. I mean, I probably won't be able to get those locally without spending way too much money. Yeah, imagine if they're like 70 cents each or something, which is probably what they are. stupid one bolt for like 70 cents or something. So you buy 32 of them and you're spending like 20 bucks just on screws. It's ridiculous. So anyway, this is done. I'll show where it's gonna be real quick though. I'll be right back. Bring the camera out to the shop just for fun. Glad I got that done though. Oh, I'm actually kind of surprised because I had so little time. I'm a little bit annoyed that I can't totally finish it because of the wheel situation. Had I thought of that or realized that I didn't have those bolts, I would have ordered those a long time ago. Be all ready to put it together. Oh well, hindsight. Oh, excuse me. Hindsight's always 20/20, and you can't prepare for everything. That is something I should have thought of, though. Okay, I can't really get a good angle in here because of all the junk, but I'll do the best I can. Okay, so I think the stream should be back. So this is the shelf that I made this platform for. It's super heavy because it's made out of metal. There's hardly anything in it, and I can't even hardly move it. It takes two people to move it. Like I can lift it like on one side and, you know, shimmy it back and forth, but like trying to move it all at once is almost impossible for just one person. The other one, I have two of them. The other one's even heavier, so the whole point of making these things is so I can have the shelf on top of this. So this is just the right size for that. It actually has 1.5 inches on either any one side so that I can put 2x4s up the side and put a shelf up here. And then from that point, like basically I'll put 2x4s on the bottom, on the corners of that. They'll come all the way up almost to the ceiling height, and then I can have shelf here, shelf there, or whatever configuration. But that way all this space above the shelf isn't just wasted, I guess. But for now, all I'm going to do is put the shelf on this platform once I get the lag bolts for the casters. So anyway, that's it for today, I guess. Since I don't have the bolts, I don't think I'll go forward. I could try seeing how far I could get on the second one, I guess. Let's see, what time is it? No, it's gonna get dark in like half hour, so I don't think I should get started on that. So, oh, by the way, this is where I did my BRB screen. Just put some lights in there, and that's where I recorded that thing. So anyway, I think I will head out for today. Thanks for joining me. Tomorrow maybe I will do the second shelf, perhaps. I mean the second cart, roller thing, whatever you want to call it. Or the second shelf, so. All right, we'll see you all next time. See you later.